On September 7th, 1987, in the waters off the Florida Keys, 68-year-old Walter Benjamin and his 69-year-old wife, Joanne, set out in their boat to spend the day together, like they had so many times before.
I guess you could say we were childhood sweethearts. I first slept with her when I was 6. When my little brother was born, my folks took me over to her house, and they dumped me in her bed. So I had to marry her to make an honest woman out of her. But we've known each other all our lives.
Walter and his wife Joanne shared a special love for each other and for life. On that late summer day, they were planning to go scuba diving together, as they often did.
Before we go into the water, we always check each other's equipment to make sure that her regulator is proper, that it's working. She's got her air zone and vice versa. She checks my air and makes sure that mine's working, so we know everybody's ready. Then our custom was to proceed to the front of the boat, and we meet at the mooring line, and then we go down together. We never went down alone. When I got around to the mooring line, Joanne was sort of laying face down in the water with a snorkel in her mouth instead of a regulator.
Hey, you'll have your regulator in here. Come on. Hey, go, what's wrong?
And I lifted up her head and gave her a regulator to put it into her mouth. She couldn't accept it. She said, I can't breathe, and that's the last she said, and she was just absolutely gone at that point.
Help! Somebody help!
Getting her around the boat was easy.
I need help!
Getting her into the boat
Help me!
was almost impossible, because we had to go up a ladder.
Over here, help! Help!
I was struggling in the water, trying to hold her up, get rid of my gear, so I could get up on enough of the ladder to pick her up and get her in the boat, or push her up into the boat. And I couldn't do it by myself. I just couldn't do it.
Laurie McLaughlin was on a marine sanctuary boat in the area.
I was out on patrol with one of the officers, and we heard a gentleman yelling out for assistance. He was actually in the water with his wife, and they were at the stern of their boat.
I need help!
We went up to see what the problem was and immediately realized that we had an emergency situation here. Somebody was in trouble.
Just luckily, the park ranger came by in his boat, and a young woman from his boat jumped off, swam over to our boat, and helped hold Joanne up. But I was just trying to get her out of the water. That's all I could think to do. Get her out of the water, get her in a boat, then we can work on her. I didn't know whether she was alive or dead. She was absolutely limp.
Two of us took her, he picked her up, and I pushed from the in the water position. We got her out of the water and into the bottom of the boat. Once he got her on board, and once I was able to climb up in the boat, we did strip her down of her dive gear so that we could then continue on from there.
She's not breathing. Check the pulse. No pulse. I'm going to start CPR. Bill Green, call.
Sanctuary officer Bill Green called for help.
Luke E5, Bay Honda base. I radioed into the Bay Honda State Park base and notified them of the medical emergency and had them send an ambulance to Dolphin Marina.
Medic 5, Big Pine Rescue, Big Pine Rescue. Signal 49, possible cardiac arrest. Reference an elderly female. CPR is in progress.
Jay Marzella was spending the day with his wife and brothers, not far from Walter's boat.
We were all in the water, and as I looked up, I noticed the particular boat that we had spotted as we came into the area. And alongside of it was the park ranger. So I left Joe and swam over to my boat just to get a better look, just to see, was it something routine or was it something more serious that they might need some help?
I just responded without even thought. You just become a machine and you just go with this programming that you had been trained with. So it didn't even occur to me that, oh, all of a sudden I'm going to have to use CPR for the first time. It was just get in there and go with it.
Blue Key Ranger, Blue Key Ranger, Blue Key Ranger. This is the Phoenix.
After hailing him 2 or 3 times on the radio and getting no reply, I shouted to him.
Officer! Officer, you need any help?
Yes, we need CPR assistance.
At this point, I shouted to Joe that we need CPR.
CPR!
I swam down to Mark, tapped him, motioned him to come up.
Both Joe and Mark Marzella were firefighters, trained as EMTs.
We didn't know who was injured, what was happening. We just knew that somebody needed CPR at the time.
We need help. Hurry.
I saw an elderly lady lying on the deck of the boat, very obviously unconscious.
When we continue,
All I could think was that this poor man had lost his wife right there in front of us, right before our eyes.